Did she eat anything out on the walk?
No.
So they're ready whenever.
Are we going?
Shana Tova. Happy New Year and Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everyone who is here with us in person. Welcome to our friends on Zoom and live streaming. We're so glad you are here with us tonight. If by chance you do not know me, my name is Rabbi Julie Benioff. You might notice I have a stool up here that I might sometimes sit on, as I had a minor sprained ankle this week. So this stool is a welcome rest if I need it. Singing with me during services today and through many of the services is my husband, Cantor Randall Miller. And tonight we have the blessing of 3 of our Shabbat Shirah musicians, Dennis Fries, David Young, and Barry Frimkiss, joining us. I ask that if you have not already done so, to please silence your cell phones, and please refrain from photography or applause. But we here really love jazz hands, so feel free to bring that in. We're really now entering a holy time and space where we get to just be. Tonight we will pray and bless and sing together as we welcome in Shabbat and the Jewish New Year. We are beginning a 10-day deep and awesome journey of personal and communal spiritual return that is the Yamim Noraim, the high holy days, the days of awe. Some of the prayers, melodies, and translations that we will be using might be unfamiliar to you. Some will be familiar to you. Some will feel just right, and others perhaps less so. And that's okay. What might not resonate for you exactly might be exactly what the person sitting next to you needed to hear. And isn't that wonderful? That it could be that for them, and likewise, the reverse for you. And this is the kind of space that is what a community creates. It's what we give each other. And this is what Temple Emek Shalom so strives to do when we come together to share and celebrate sacred time. I really encourage you tonight and through these Yamim Noraim to take good care of yourself, to go off script by exploring the many, many beautiful readings in our Machzor, to meditate and just close your eyes and listen, to bring a book to read, however you need. If you want to walk around, to walk out into the hallways, the sound will be coming through the whole building. If you have children and children are getting wiggly and need a space, there's a space out there near the restrooms with puzzles and books to read and some games. And also, if you feel moved to step outside, please do so, although we'll want to make sure the door is propped open. Like, you can go not necessarily through these doors, but through another door, but you want to make sure the door is open so you can get back in. What all of that means is this time here during these Yamim Noraim is your time, while it is also our time. And we get to do that all at once together. Personally, each of us will journey inward with reflection, accounting for ourselves, forgiving, seeking, thanking, awakening, and centering. Communally, we will journey with prayers that proclaim we and us, because our brilliant tradition knows fundamentally that we cannot walk through our lives alone. Our Machzor and the supplement, the Rosh HaShanah supplement, which is orange, yes, orangish, they are filled with prayers and songs and poems, and they will be like our map on the journey. And our prayer leaders and speakers and Torah chanters, our technology coordinators, our shofar blowers, they will be our guides. And our prayers, melodies, and intentions, and the chanting of the wisdom of our Torah will be the vehicle by which we are carried to where we need to go in this sacred time of renewal and healing. So let us pause now to bless the journey that we are beginning together with the Traveler's Prayer, which can be found at number 1 of your supplements. Please join me. May it be your will, Lord our God and God of our ancestors, that you lead us toward peace, guide our footsteps toward peace, and make us reach our desired destination for life, gladness, and peace. May you rescue us from the hand of every foe, ambush along the way, and from all manner of punishments that assemble to come to earth. May you send blessing in our handiwork and grant us grace, kindness, and mercy in your eyes and in the eyes of all who see us. May you hear the sound of our humble request, because you are God who hears prayer requests. Blessed are you, Lord, who hears prayer. Baruch atah Adonai, shomea tefillah. And now I want to invite you to all just take a moment for a big, deep breath to breathe in our arrival at this moment. And I'd like to invite up our board president and our co-vice presidents and their partners to bring us in fully and officially with the Yom Tov and Shabbat candle lighting blessings, as well as the Shehechianu prayer for the wow and gratitude of arriving at this moment. These blessings can be found in your supplement number 2.
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat v'yom tov.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Shehechianu
v'kiyamanu Vehigianu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
Yasher koach. Amen.
Someone's got a good voice. Sabbath prayer.
Number 3 in our supplements. A Sabbath prayer.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's way. May God bless you and grant you long life.
Lord, fulfill our Sabbath prayer for you.
May God make you
Strong lovers
for life. May He send you partners who will care for you. May the Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer.
I'd now like to invite up Tony Heald to read our next reading, Transplanted, a poem by Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt.
God says, face facts. The old year is ending. You've outgrown it. The flower pot that used to be home isn't big enough anymore. Once it was spacious. Now your roots push uncomfortably against the walls. It's time to stop contorting yourself to fit inside a story that's too small for who you can become. God whacks the bottom of your pot, sends you flying. Once you're pried from the old year, your roots will ache, shocked by open air. You'll wonder whether you could have stopped growing. But one morning you'll wake, realize you've stretched in ways you never knew you hadn't done before. The sun feels like a benediction, like grace. You can't help turning and returning toward the light, toward becoming. And wait till you see what dazzling flowers you'll discover springing from your fingertips. Your life's renewed, beginning again.
we turn to page 17 in our Machzor. I should add that there are two versions of our Machzor in the room, one that has transliterations and one that does not. So if you find that you'd really like a transliteration, I believe the bigger books have those. So we turn to page 17, where we are going to rise in body or in spirit for the Baruch Hu prayer, which is our call to worship. And I want us to just pause a moment and say Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova to each other, to your neighbor on Zoom. Take a look at the screens around you. Everyone, we can peek at the Zoomers there. If you want to put on your video so we can see you, and just take each other in. Say hello, take a moment, just greet each other. Hello.
Hello, hello.
HaShanah Tova, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for the beautiful music.
You what?
Greeting.
Reading? Greeting you.
I can't get copies of the show. Can you get it?
Shana Tova.
Yeah, I'll help you. Sorry about that.
So good to see you. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. You are our praised, who rolls out the rough, raw clay of the universe into delicate vessels of light, and from nothing at all creates the darkness which lets them shine. You fashion harmony from all that you have made, and from nothing at all create the chaos that lets harmony be heard. Your vessels pour light upon the universe, flooding the cracks in our darkness with the beams of your compassion. If we could walk upon that lighted path, we could perceive in a world that has turned old a shimmering new creation right before our eyes, made just for this moment, just for us. How much of life reveals your presence? How much Torah unfolds from each new flower, from each new wave that breaks upon our sands. Page 18, second paragraph, fourth line down.
Umavir yom, umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzivot shemo, El chai v'kayom, Tomid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim.
We turn to page 22. As the evening rolls in, we call in the truth of love, accompanying our entering of this new year. Please join in this call and response, Ahavat Olam. There is so much love in the universe. Ahava,
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 Ahavat Olam,
Ahavat Olam,
Beit Yisrael,
Beit Yisrael,
Amcha ahavta,
Amcha ahavta,
Ahava,
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 Ahavat Olam,
Ahavat Olam,
Beit Yisrael,
Beit Yisrael,
Amcha ahavta,
Amcha ahavta,
Baruch
Baruch
atah
atah
Adonai
Adonai
Ohev
Ohev
Amo Yisrael.
Amcha Israel.
I'd like to invite up Carmen Portnoy to help bring us into the Shema with her poem, which is supplement number 6.
listen. The celestial timekeeper, the mysterious code is in one breath. The vital spark, the universe, seeker of radiant richness, life before death, contains galaxies of love, true wealth, majestic creator of spheres and sun, infinite intelligence. We are all one.
Page 23, please respect your custom if it is to rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue silently on our own. Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. Something Judaism teaches is that Shabbat is a holy day of joy, rest, nourishment. And it is all of that as the embodiment of freedom. With this next prayer, the Michamocha, we recall our liberation story from the narrow, constricted place of Egypt and slavery, and rejoice in the freedoms that we have known. And we pray that it may be so for all who suffer from oppression, persecution, and bondage, that they too will one day be in a time and space to embody their freedom. We begin at the very bottom of page 28, and then we'll continue on page 30. Moshe uMiriam uvnei Yisrael lecha anu shira besimcha rabba ve'amru chulam michamocha bailim Adonai mikamocha nedar ba'kodesh Nora tehilot oseh fele Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokeyam lifnei Moshe ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed שנאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Amen.
Please join me in reading in the supplement number 7, The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars, waiting with their light for a time. I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. We call into our evening this peace of wild things, the still water, the starlight, the sunlight of the universe to hold us, and all that is in need of protection. May we lie down tonight on this Erev Rosh HaShanah in peace and joy, and awaken in the morning fully restored to life. Our musicians will now lead us in this Hashkivenu prayer of protection, which is in our supplement number 8, but the traditional words can also be found on page 31.
Shalom, Hashkivenu. Shalom, v'chameinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu l'shalom, Hashkivenu l'shalom, Hashkivenu l'shalom, v'hamidenu l'chaim. Hashkivenu l'shalom, Hashkivenu l'shalom, Hashkivenu l'shalom, v'hamidenu l'chaim.
Ufrot aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Blessed are you, Eternal One, who spreads your shelter of peace over us, over all your people Israel, of all people everywhere, and over Jerusalem. And let us say, Amen. We are on page 32 and about to sing the Vishamru. It says to rise in the Machzor, but we're not going to rise yet. But the Vishamru is the commandment for us to observe Shabbat that comes from the book of Exodus. It says in it to remember the miracle of creation and the miracle of Shabbat. And I want to just draw your attention to the very last two lines, Uvayom Hashvi Shavat Vayinafash, and on the seventh day, God rested and was re-ensouled. That's actually a more true translation than the one in the Machzor. Rested and was re-ensouled. May this Shabbat and this Rosh Hashanah, which is the anniversary of the conception of the world, Hayom Harat Olam, may these days be days of re-ensoulment. Israel et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. We'll turn to page 34 in our Machzor. So tonight we have heard one solitary blast of the shofar, and on Sunday we will hear many blasts of the shofar. Because tomorrow is Shabbat, we will not blow the shofar, and it has to do with carrying the shofar and the different concerns they had. The shofar could only be blown at a certain place and a certain time, but nobody could carry it, and there's many texts all about why it cannot be blown on Shabbat. But Psalm 86 says, Asher ha'am yodea trua. Ashrei ha'am yodea hatrua. Happy are the people who know the sound of the trumpeting. It does not say who hear the sound of the shofar trumpeting or to make the sound of the shofar trumpeting. It's to know the sound. Thus, tomorrow we will have some beautiful offerings from members of the community to help us know the shofar without blowing it. The shofar is such a powerful symbol for us to help us wake up, to pay attention to everything, in this magnificent and also imperfect world, everything. And so with these next words here from Psalm 81, Tiku v'chodesh, we will rise in honor of our beginning to know more about the sound of the shofar and the meaning of the shofar, as we call in the commandment that sounding the shofar, knowing the shofar, hearing the shofar on Rosh HaShanah is to know Today is the day of the shofar, the day of awakening, of loud blasts, of trumpeting sound.
Tiku, tiku, v'chodesh shofar, v'chodesh shofar, tikeu v'chodesh shofar, tikeu v'chodesh shofar, b'kesech leyom chagenu, b'kesech leyom chagenu, ki chok leYisrael hu, mishpot leElohei Yaakov. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shmei Rabbah, Be'ol mod yivrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayeichon uv'yomeichon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'gala uv'izman koriv Dimeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach, Le'olam Ulamei Ulmaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach, V'yitpoar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitalol, Shemei Dekudesha Brichu, Leila Uleila, Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damiron Be'alma V'emeru, Amen.
We remain standing for the upcoming silent Amidah, which begins on page 36 and will go until page 48. This prayer will give us some moments to remember our ancestors in their strength, to remember the holiness of this day, to lift up our longing to be of service, and our abundant gratitude, and our deep yearnings for peace. Please note that there are insertions for Shabbat in the Amidah, and our musicians will sing us in with Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, page 36.
Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Ahitehilatecha, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Ahitehilatecha. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to pray. Adonai Silfatei tiftach, ufi yahit tehillatech. Adonai, Adonai, Silfatei tiftach, ufi yahit tehillatech. God, open up my lips as I begin to praise. Oh God, open up my lips as I begin to praise.
Sefer Chaim beracha v'shalom u'parnasa tova nizacher v'nikotev lefanecha אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום ולשלום. Baruch atah Adonai osei HaShalom.
Blessed are you, Eternal One, author of peace. When I was in middle school, many days I would come home when my parents were still at work. I made myself a snack and I sat down in front of the TV. At some point in those years, I saw a nature program about panda bears in China. Their habitat was rapidly disappearing due to human development in the area. I was concerned about human thriving was in direct conflict with the thriving of the pandas. And I decided at that moment that I wanted to be a part of the solution. And thus began my dream of becoming a conservation wildlife biologist. I even almost went to China to work with the pandas after studying Chinese my first 2 years of college. But it turns out I was not that good at Chinese. And I also was not that good at memorizing the names of the bones and blood vessels and nerves and musculature of many species. The more I studied biology, ornithology, comparative vertebrate anatomy, the less I enjoyed it. My attention kept returning to that intersection of all that science with humanity. And while science was and is essential for conservation, I personally wanted to better understand what was going on with humans and how to negotiate this convergence between humanity and everything else. And so I pivoted my studies to look more at how our decisions are informed by social, political, and emotional phenomena. And while that journey ultimately led me to wanting to become a rabbi, I am still clear. No matter what it is that I do, I am a human and I live on a planet, and there is a relationship between me and that planet, and my health and well-being, and that of everyone I love and know, and also those whom I don't know, depends upon the earth and the well-being of our planet. What we all do impacts this planet, and what this planet does impacts us. We are each and all in a perpetual dance of interconnection with the earth and with one another. As I have journeyed more and more deeply into Judaism, I have found that our tradition has a lot to say about this relationship. Recently, I was reading a book about Judaism and ecology, where Rabbi David Seidenberg states much of what I felt when I started thinking about the pandas. He says, "We are called to protect the lives of the species on Earth, even while we simultaneously are destroying those lives. In one sense, this is an unavertible condition of life. It is we who decide about the species, about who will live and who will die. We have a lot of power. And as Winston Churchill famously said, where there is great power, there is great responsibility." Tonight begins the celebratory day of Rosh HaShanah, the head of the year. We are beginning again, another time around the sun for our planet. The coming year for all of creation is pregnant with opportunity, discovery, becoming, manifesting, healing, and blessing. On birthdays, we often like to look at and post on Facebook the baby pictures of our beloveds. We recall their birth stories and their coming to be who they are today. So I want to take a moment and do that for our world. The story in Torah goes something like this. Once upon a time, there was an entity that the Jewish tradition called Elohim, or Adonai, or Yud-He Vav-He. In other words, what we call today God. And this entity in the Torah story caused all that is to become. And on our planet, that meant colors, textures, smells and tastes, warmth and cold, sound and silence, oceans and mountains, rivers and deserts, and life. From the blue-green algae to the sequoia trees, from coral to mushrooms, from sea anemones to octopus, from hummingbirds to elephants, from dragonflies to you and me. Wow, right? I was speaking with a fellow rabbi recently who said, "What's the main point of Judaism? Blessings and gratitude. Judaism says, don't go through life on automatic pilot, be awake. Creation is amazing." On Rosh HaShanah, we pause and say, yes, I am awake. I am grateful. Creation is entirely amazing. We blow the shofar, the ram's horn, to make sure that on this new year we are all indeed awake. And we do so by making 3 different kinds of sounds. Tekiah, a singular whole blast. Truah, a broken blast of 9 smaller blasts. Shevarim, a wailing blast of 3 middle-sized blasts. Why these sounds? Some say it is because we all need to hear that the world is whole, that the world is broken, that the world is wailing. On this day of the celebration of creation, we must not only see the light, we must look at the all too real darkness. We strive to see all that is, to acknowledge that which is broken and that which is needing grief, and to honor that. I read recently in the news, as the world goes through what some scientists believe to be its hottest year on record, emperor penguin populations in the Antarctic are suffering catastrophic losses, with no chicks surviving the spring of 2022 in 4 of 5 colonies observed for a new study. The loss of the chicks coincides with record low sea ice coverage, which was predicted as the world warmed, but the collapse in numbers has happened faster and sooner than expected, prompting fears for the future of the animal. This news hit close to home for me, for my favorite animal as a child was a penguin. I thought to myself, not the penguins too, and this is so sad for me. The climate is changing. California had its first tropical storm warning in history. Hawaii experienced the deadliest wildfire the United States has ever known. The East Coast experienced unprecedented wildfire smoke earlier this summer. And we on the West Coast now come to expect to live with smoke every summer. I hear it's a season in Oregon, as a matter of fact. We too also, too many of us know personally the impact and loss that can come from wildfires. These climate changes are because of our actions as a species. Yes, we have innovated, created, and cultivated in miraculous ways. but in so doing, we have simultaneously been a force for destruction. Before the Industrial Revolution, people were entirely and necessarily intertwined with the rhythm of nature. And after, people began to lose touch with it. Some contemporary, ecologically focused Torah commentators say this is not unlike what was lost with the expulsion of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. In the garden, all was harmony and harmonious. So much so that it was there that the very name given to humanity was Adam, from the word Adamah, which means earth. Every day in Judaism, we are supposed to say the Shema prayer 2 times. The Shema begins, Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel. Adonai Eloheinu, the Lord is our God. Adonai Echad, the Lord is one. This is our most central affirmation in Judaism, and it comes directly from the Torah. It affirms Adonai Echad. God is oneness, not separateness. It offers a foundation to hold on to in the midst of so much disharmony that we are seeing in our world today. In the second paragraph of the Shema, we then receive a warning to be careful with our actions and intentions because they are inseparable from the well-being of the earth and ultimately could make or break us. Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi, of blessed memory, offers this very accessible translation of that paragraph. How good it will be when you really listen and hear my directions which I give you today, for loving Adonai, who is your God, and to act godly with feeling and inspiration. Your earthly needs will be met at the right time, appropriate to the season. You will reap what you planted for your delight and health. Also, your animals will have ample feed, and all of you will eat and be content. Be careful. Watch out. Don't let your cravings delude you. Don't become alienated. Don't let your cravings become your gods. Don't debase yourself to them, because the God sense within you will become distorted. Heaven will be shut to you, grace will not descend, earth will not yield her produce, your rushing will destroy you, and earth will not be able to recover her good balance in which God's gifts manifest. Such a powerful reminder that we must be good stewards of our lives and our time and our attention, all of which can impact the earth. We are inseparable, says Torah. We are echad, one. And today is a perfect time for us to look at how we are showing up for this essential relationship. Are we tending or are we rushing? Are we listening or are we ignoring? Are we seeing what really is or only what we want to see? Are we connected or are we alienated? Rabbi David Seidenberg suggests, in order for humanity to turn back from defacing the earth, we must turn to behold the earth's face. When we do so, we are reaching toward much more than a solution to the climate crisis. We may restore our hearts to the natural world, retune our senses to the many creatures that surround us, and reclaim our companionship with them. And as we renew the face of the earth, we may also restore ourselves to God, who is, after all, image not just in human beings, but in all the innumerable beings and ways of being and evolving, all of us related, all of us composing this universe, which also holds our bodies, our spirits, and our dreams. We must remember to turn toward the earth again and again. and the shofar calls us back to the earth. Pay attention. See all that is. Reconnect. It is not too late. We can be part of the healing. I often thought, especially when I was a teenager, what can I, just one person, actually do? The brokenness is endless. But I don't think that way anymore. I think that the little things I do and the little things that you do can add up a whole lot. And actually, we know this to be true, for that is how the world and the climate has come to be where it is today, negatively impacted by the collective actions of us all. Can it not be true for how the world might be positively impacted by our collective actions for good? And things are indeed changing. A few weeks ago, I heard an Instagram post by sustainability scientist and climate activist Elena Wood, who makes posts about good climate news. She shared, "The people of Ecuador voted over the weekend to ban oil drilling in nearly 4,000 square miles of the Amazon rainforest. The nonprofit Ocean Cleanup has removed a record 25,000 pounds of trash from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in one go. Scientists in Sri Lanka have discovered a species of fungi that can fully break down polyethylene plastic. India has reduced their emissions 33% per unit of GDP in under 20 years, thanks to reforestation and renewable energy projects. And if we transition to clean energy, the number of ships crossing our oceans would decrease by around 50%, since so many of them ship fossil fuels." I know that many of us in this room and in our congregation have begun to shift our use of fossil fuels by placing solar panels on our homes and driving electric and hybrid vehicles and so much more. It all adds up. A friend recently pointed out to me, the Shema says, "Hear, O Israel," not "Hear, O Julie," who is only one person all by yourself. It is calling all of us to pay attention and to respond and act together. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, "The Torah came to tell inattentive man that you are not alone. You live constantly in a holy neighborhood." And I am so grateful that my holy neighborhood includes all of you. And so during these Yamim Noraim, these days of awe, as we look back and as we look inside, as we look around us, we can consider our deeds that really matter and consider our world that is bursting with wonder and that we entirely depend on. We can honor our place of wholeness that is also broken and wailing. And we can remember that together we can find a better way forward and through. May it come to be that all can be seen as very good, as it was in the Torah in the beginning of the Garden of Eden, when God first laid eyes on all of creation. And may this goodness endure for the children of the world and their children, and for our sisters and brothers who are the pandas and the penguins, the deserts and the mountains, the oceans and the flowers. All of us are one. All of us are the fullness of the amazingness that is creation. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so. L'shana Tova.
Very, very nice.
Sing it like you're in your car.
Supplement number 9. So you speak to me. I got it wrong.
So you speak.
Speak to me in sadness and the coming of the winter. The fear that is within you now, it seems to never end. And the dreams that have escaped you, and the hope that you've forgotten. You tell me that you need me now. You want to be my friend. And you wonder where we're going. Where's the rhyme and where's the reason? And it's you cannot accept. It is here we must begin to seek the wisdom of the children. And the graceful ways of flowers in the wind. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness could clear a cloudy day, like the music of the mountains and the colors of the rainbow. They're a promise of the future and a blessing for today. Though the cities start to crumble and the towers fall around us, the sun is slowly fading and it's colder than the sea. It is written from the desert to the mountains, they shall lead us by the hand and by the heart. They will comfort you and me in their innocence and trusting. They will teach us to be free. For the children and the flowers are my sisters and my brothers. Their laughter and their loveliness would clear a cloudy day. And the song that I am singing is a prayer to non-believers. Come and stand beside us. We can find a better life. We can find a better way. As we think of healing our earth, healing our relationship to the earth, that means also healing our relationships to ourselves and healing each other. So we pause now to call in healing for ourselves, for our loved ones, for our country, for all who are suffering in the world, for our planet, and for all her creatures. We recite these words that Moses prayed for his sister Miriam even after she had spoken so poorly about him. Moses still prayed for her healing. It's such a powerful message to us about forgiveness and to send well wishes to all who are suffering in the world. On Zoom right now, feel free to write the names of those you are thinking of in the chat. And in the sanctuary, I invite you now to please just name in unison anyone you're thinking of in need of healing for body, heart, soul, or mind.
Steve Young,
the family
Al
Jonas
Mason.
Keller.
Steve Satter.
Jessica Leash.
Supplement number 10.
From deep within the home of my soul. Now let the healing begin. Heal our bodies, open our hearts, awaken our minds. Heal our bodies, open our hearts, awaken our minds. Shekhinah,
And now it's my joy to invite up our president of the Board of Trustees, Stephen Portnoy.
Hi, everybody. Who remembers how I started my speech last Rosh HaShanah? All right, I have another joke for you. Shlomo, where's your homework? Miss Feynman said sternly to the little boy while holding out her hand. My dog ate it, was his solemn response. Shlomo, I've been a teacher in this shul school for 18 years. Do you really expect me to believe that? It's true, Mrs. Feynman, I promise, insisted the boy. I had to cover it in peanut butter, but she ate it. Creative problem solving like Shlomo's has been the key to our success this past year. The Torah tells us that God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. It's easy for God to create, and surprisingly, it's not much harder for us humans, as it turns out. This past year at Temple Emek Shalom, many people spoke of an idea they had that would make their and hopefully others' experience at TES better. And many of those sparks of creation became real. Melissa Gruden said, "Wouldn't it be nice if there was a group that got together to knit?" And Unraveled was born. Pam Denke and others said, "Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place to discuss Jewish-themed books?" And the Jewish Fiction Book Club came into being. Carol Sunahara and David Sherman said, "Wouldn't it be nice if we had bagels and a nosh after each Shabbat morning service?" And now we have that too. Others said, "Wouldn't it be nice if there were more people to help share the jobs of keeping our building maintained, keeping up with our beautiful landscaping, or taking action against racial and social injustice?" and our groups and committees grew in numbers. 50 years ago, the Rogue Valley Jewish community was officially created. Since then, that spark of creation has been kept alight by so many people. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a brand new building to call our own? Wouldn't it be nice to have a shul school and a preschool? Wouldn't it be nice if we could live stream our services? We've been blessed for these 50 years, not only with people who contribute their visions and ideas, but with people who contribute their talent and dedication and time to these acts of creation. This past year has been a year of growth. Since the last high holidays, we've added 14 new member households. And most of these new members are already on committees, participating in groups, and coming to services. Now, if any of those new members are here tonight and willing to do so, would you please raise your hands? Look at that. I have really enjoyed getting to know them, and I know you will too. We're seeing a rise in attendance for Shabbat and other services, as well as big turnouts for our adult education offerings. Everywhere I look, I see more people finding value in their time spent participating in this community. And the best part is, there's always room for more. This year, we will have many chances to share in the joy of creating and recreating our community. Traditionally, the high holidays is a time to make an appeal for support. Your financial support is, of course, vital. But tonight, I want to encourage you to support Temple Emek Shalom with yourselves. I challenge you to commit to participating in one thing, one time, that you haven't tried at TES. Be a greeter for a Shabbat morning service. Come to one of Rabbi Ken's classes. Attend one of the online Minyans or Torah studies. Get involved in the fight against anti-Semitism as part of the Southern Oregon Jewish Community Coalition and the Kulanu program. If what you're looking for doesn't exist, ask yourself, wouldn't it be nice if there was fill in the blank? Then share your spark of creation with someone else and make it so. If it helps, there is a board in the lobby where you can add your name and your interests to help make TES the place to find your community. Thank you all for coming in person and online. I am so grateful that we are once again able to join together to celebrate the creation of our world. Thank you to everyone who has and will be participating to make these high holiday services and events possible. And thank you to all the TES volunteers, staff members, and our incredible rabbi for the care, compassion, kindness, and dedication you show each day. May this year bring you all opportunities to deepen your connection to your community, and may you find much joy and sweetness along the way. Shabbat Shalom and L'Shana Tova.
And thank you, Stephen.
And I now would like to invite up one of our co-vice presidents, David Sherman, with a special announcement.
Shana Tova. So I have the pleasure of following my president, Steve, with making this very short and sweet. For another opportunity to step up and help with our food drive. Some of you have already seen the packages and boxes and supplies that are out front. Unfortunately, it's not enough. So we're going to be extending it through October 6th. You can come in any day that the office is open, leave it off, and if you really want to help, you can get in touch with me and help me deliver it to the Ashland Food Bank, who will be very, very happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. B'teavon. So our Aleinu prayer that we are about to recite is about partnering with God to heal the world. So as we prepare for the Aleinu and think about some of the things we've been talking about and participating, taking a step and feeding the hungry in our community, I invite you to read with me the reading in our supplement number 11, these words from Martin Buber. As the hand held before the eye hides the tallest mountain, so this small earthly life hides from our gaze the vast radiance and secrets of which the world is full. And if we can take life from before our eyes as one takes away one's hand, we will see the great radiance of the world. We turn to page 57 for the Aleinu. We rise in awe of our amazing world in all the ways we imagine we can partner in making it even more radiant. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וזאת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, We are preparing for our Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish, where we remember beloveds who've died in this season in years past, or who've died in recent days. Please join me in reading Summoned to the World by Alden Sullivan in the supplement number 12. Something you do will resonate throughout eternity. That is why you are here, to touch time with your soul, to create ripples in the flow of our days. You were summoned into the world by God's will. Holiness aspires the work of your hands. The divine requires the prayers of your heart. Create beauty, spread love, embody kindness, do justice, pursue peace, always knowing that the moment of your life summoned by eternity, the moment of your life without which the universe could not stand, is a secret in heaven and on earth. We turn to page 62. I invite those in Zoom to please write the names in the chat of those you're remembering today. And I invite all of us in the room to name the names of anyone you're remembering on this day. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be an eternal blessing. Please respect your custom if it is to rise, or please rise if you are in mourning or observing the yahrzeit, the anniversary of a death. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. B'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei kudesha.
Barichu.
Le'ela ul'ela. Mikol bechata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechamata. Damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. Zochrenu l'chaim, we remember for life.
Sochenu l'chaim, Melech hafetz b'chaim. Sochenu l'chaim, Melech hafetz b'chaim. B'tovenu b'sefer ha'chaim, L'macha Elohi chaim, L'macha Elohi chaim. B'tovenu b'sefer ha'chaim, L'macha Elohi chaim, L'macha Elohim Chaim, Elohim Chaim, Elohim
We are about to end our evening together. I want to express my deep gratitude for all of you who are here in person and on Zoom and streaming. It's so good to pray together tonight. Thank you to our leaders, our musicians, to Cantor Randall, to all who spoke and shared today. Thank you to all who made this evening possible, and all of our hosts, everyone. You may have noticed when you walked in a sign in the very front that says, Intentions for the New Year. So we are inviting everyone to take a sticky note or 2 or 3, there is no limit, and share an intention that you have for yourself, your family, your community, for the world, for TES, and put it on the sticky note and put it on one of the windows there on that wall. And you may write it while you are here. You may also take a sticky note home and bring it back, or bring one from home. And at the end of the Sukkot holiday, we will collect all of them and share them in a mailing to the community. And want to just really be sure to note that we recognize that there are many different levels of religious observances in the community, and trust that you will honor your personal level of observance during these high holy days, if it is to write or not write on the holy days. You can also come during office hours and add to the list. But please feel free to write or not write now or later. We'd love to fill the wall, fill the windows with intentions as we reflect and project into the beautiful year we want to make for each other and our world. Tomorrow, immediately after our morning service, we are going to have our Tashlich ritual, where we cast away the things we need to let go of from this year. We will meet at Lithia Park behind the band shell next to the creek. And I encourage you to maybe pack a little snack to carry you over in between services and Tashlich. Those of you who might be joining us on Zoom, you may want to meet us there, so you'll know when we end and we can kind of all make our way there. Or if you happen to not be here in the morning, you're also very welcome to join us approximately 1 o'clock. So it'd be lovely to see you, and we'll have a ritual and prayers that we can say together by the creek. We also need some help tomorrow afternoon If people might like to volunteer to come back to the synagogue around 3:30 to help us set up for Sunday's service, which weather permitting will be outside. So any volunteers, please do come at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. So in a moment, we are going to bless for apples and honey and wine and challah. We're delighted tonight to be using a new challah board and challah cover. And Kiddush cup that were graciously donated as a gift this year to Temple Emek Shalom from one of our trustees, Annette Freed. We're so grateful, Annette. After these blessings, our musicians will be playing an original piece by Dennis called Erev Rosh HaShanah. So please join us after the service for challah and apples and honey, sweetness and togetherness, just outside the sanctuary. And we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning at 9:30 and throughout our holiday season. So now we will bless first for the sweetness of wine. And the blessing is on page 55.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bochar banu le'avodoto, v'romimonu b'hilshono, v'kidshonu b'mitzvotav, v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava, et yom HaShabbat hazeh, et yom HaZikaron hazeh, Yom Zikaron Teruah be'ahava, Mikra Kodesh Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim, Kivonu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta le'avodatecha, Udvorcha emet v'kayam lo'ad, Baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol ha'oretz, mikadesh ha'shabbat v'Yisrael, melech al kol haaretz, mikadesh hashabbat v'Yisrael, v'yom hazikaron.
Amen. L'chaim. It's now my joy to invite up Nancy and Mark Spector to lead us in these blessings for apple and honey and challah. Whatever order you'd like to do. Oh, and the apple blessing is on page 69. Sure, let's do apples first.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri ha'adam.
Amen. Yum. And the blessing for bread can be found in your supplement if you need it. Number 14.
Shkoyach.
Thank you. Shana Tova, Matuka, sweet and happy New Year, and Shabbat Shalom.
Yashikah, Yashikah. Wonderful, you guys. That was
Beautiful.
great. Yeah, I love that. I love that piece.